Live. Yes, we are live. I swear, man. I honestly just like talking, man. I swear. I just like talking. I just like talking, man. I get on, you know, just check stuff. And like, I analyze everything, I analyze everything. And just compare it to like, I'll tell you one thing, man. I'm so thankful that I'm not a kid in this generation, Because number one, I don't get a lot. I don't understand how people think certain things are okay and all that stuff and all that. But man, with how, everything is revolved around a phone, like everything has to be picture perfect. Man, I'm just so glad I'm not growing up with that. But it's sad to see the youth, taking on these addictive traits that are being passed down by their parents. Because everything is picture perfect. And I'll tell you one thing that I don't understand. This is before I even get into the long ass fucking podcast. But, okay. So your elderly family member is in the fucking hospital. Okay? Why do you want to take a picture? You know what I mean? Why do people do that? It's a common thing. It's a common thing that people do. And I don't understand why they do that. Why would you want to remember the moment your elderly parent is in the hospital? Why do you want them to take a picture looking like that? I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. I don't, and I never will. Because to me, if I was in... Wait a minute. Oh gosh, I thought I forgot my glasses at work. I'm like, whoa, what the heck? I really don't want to drive back to work to go get some glasses. My glasses aren't even for visual anyway. They're for Blu-ray. They're for the blue lights that's on the screen. But I know if I don't got my glasses for a long period of time, I'll start getting migraines and all that bull crap. Because I'm telling you, blue light is everywhere. It's not just on your phones, guys. It's on TV screens. It's on all that stuff. But anyway. But I don't get it. Like, why do you want to cherish that moment and picture it? Put it in picture. Like, take a picture of them when they're looking their worst. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But it's a common thing. It's a common fucking thing. And I don't get it. I mean, put yourself in their shoe, man. You're looking a mess. Got tubes, got wiring, got all that stuff all up on you. You don't look your best, and you got your family members who look dressed to impress or whatever, wanting to take a perfect picture photo in front of you, and you're just on the hospital bed looking a mess. And why do you want to remember that? Why do you want to remember them like that? Like, come on. Why? I just don't get it. No matter what the predicament is, detrimental or not even detrimental, why take a picture in a fucking hospital when they're on the fucking hospital bed? Well, why? They're going to feel obligated that they got to take this fucking picture because, well, the family wants one. Okay. Even though I look like crap and I feel like crap, but okay. It's like, I don't get it. I tell you, phones are corrupting. They're doing a lot of corruption. And when they're handed down to the kid, they're basically just taking away any kind of emotions from developing within the child. People don't see it, and I don't understand. I don't understand why. But I do understand why, actually. When you don't come to peace with, your trauma and stuff, your trauma's already normalized. So when the new comes out, you're not going to be able to red flag it because, well, I didn't even have that when I was growing up. Oh boy, we advancing up right now. Yeah, this is good stuff. They don't even think about the severity of the matter on what it could do. I mean, for crying out loud, you got 2-year-olds, you got 3-year-olds on tablets and all that stuff, Just escaping reality at a young age when they should be learning everything about everything going on. I mean, for crying out loud, I was a video game addict. I was on a computer, Luckily, my computer was not portable. Now, when I was young, I was forced to go out because I was too young to stay at home. But as soon as I go home, I'd be in that computer room playing video games. But I still had to get out and about because I was just a young elementary school kid. I wasn't old enough to leave. Now, when I got older and I was old enough to stay home, and there was a lot of times I didn't go out with the family because I wanted to stay in and play video games. There was a lot of that. And, I know when mom and dad and them, and they go out to a place, and they would always bring me back something. I kind of wish I would have, I would have went with them, but, I can't turn back time and do everything. I mean, I was already in a mental hell as it was, but that is one thing that I wish I could do different. I wish I could have been who I was, basically. Been who I am now, Because I can only imagine the links of progress I could have made if I was actually myself, growing up. I can only imagine. Like, man, I'd be living the life. But that's how life is. You look back at the old you, the old traumatized you, and you're saying, man, I could do stuff different, man. If I could just go back. You're dang right you could. Especially if you came to peace with your past. You come to peace with your past and everything, and you realize how much you really missed out on because you were too busy being traumatized by trauma and traumatic experiences. Like, man, if only mental health was as good as it is now. But, I'm using my experiences and all that stuff to help people. Like, that's why there's no shame in my game. I got my tattoo touched up the other day, and it's looking beautiful. I can't wait to finish this. My story will be told. No sugarcoating, no nothing. Yeah. No sugarcoating, no nothing. Straight up storyline. But yeah, I was a video game addict. But I can only imagine if I had like a portable phone or portable tablet. If they would say, okay, Jen, we're going out to eat, you coming too, because you're too young to be staying here. If I had a tablet, okay, well, let me go grab my tablet. Now, we did have Game Boys, and I was a Game Boy addict too. I loved my Pokemon. And, of course, you weren't going to be playing that 24/7 because, things took batteries. So you were still limited. He's like, oh, I don't want to play my video game now or anything. I want to save the batteries or something like that, because I didn't have an adapter. I know they sold sets with an adapter, but of course I was a kid. I didn't really know what an adapter was. I just got the batteries, and if I ran out of batteries, I was out of batteries, and I just tell my mom, Mama, I need batteries. You got batteries? We always had batteries at home. But, yeah, even then we're timed. Like, shoot, tablets got battery saving mode and all that stuff, man. Kids come with their tablets and everything, man. They're escaping reality 24/7. Think I'm going to learn about this real world? Fuck this real world. I'm about to learn about stuff on the virtual reality and all that bull crap. That's just desensitizing the kid, man. Icing them. Just icing their brain so they don't develop emotions properly. You know? That's all it is. Just teaching the kids how to escape reality just like mommy and daddy do. That's all it is. Now, they might not be getting into, like, drugs and stuff in the future, but they're still going to need that escape. They're still going to need that fix. See, that's one thing that people don't understand about addictions. Addictions goes on to more than just drugs. And that's one type of thing that really aggravates me a lot, man. Is how people stereotype addictions. What drugs do you do? It's like, what? It's like anything can be habit forming. Anything can be habit forming. There's just a lot of the stuff that is habit forming is actually normalized. But yeah. I'm glad I ain't a kid growing up in this stuff. I can only imagine how fucked up I would be if I had a tablet 24/7 and all that stuff. Or if my mommy and daddy was like, uh-oh, James is bad. Get the tablet, get the phone, get that. Let him play a game. Let him be happy. Like, man, you're teaching me to escape from my own emotions instead of actually talking about them. You know? But the thing is the parents or guardians, whatever, taking care of the kid, they don't know how to identify that because they don't even know how to vocalize their own emotions. They run away from their own emotions instead of actually talking them out properly. That's the problem with society, period. There's a whole bunch of problems with emotions. I'm trying to think of a word. Emotional dysfunction runs high in society. And people handle their emotions in such dysfunctional manners, and it's not even substance all the time. It's other things that they do too. I mean, heck, people who shop too much, to get that quick high you get from, ooh, I got a new thing coming in. Ooh, I got a new thing coming in. It's like endorphin rush or something like that. I mean, everything is habit forming, man. Everything is. Like the way we have the world programmed, it's nothing but a big giant trap. It's nothing but a big giant trap. You partake in the wrong thing, you're going to get trapped. But the thing is pretty much everything is the wrong thing. That's just how life is. There's no escaping it. The only thing you can do is just make the best decisions that you know that you can make. And if you slip, you got to learn from it. You learn from it, keep it moving, just learn from it. But the thing is the majority of people don't know how to learn from stuff. All they do is just try to find normalization with the problem. And they just fight to be in it for however that environment is accommodating their habits, That's the dysfunction in society, and it's just a repetitive process. But it's making it worse because of how the youth is being raised. All I do, stick to myself, man. It's all you can do. Stay away from the toxicity. Live your life to your life. Die. That's it. That's what I want to do. I'm here to live, you know. I'm not here to get distracted by stuff because life is temporary, period. What are you going to do? Get caught up in stuff that's going to just cause you a bunch of trouble? I'm telling you, life is a never-ending trap. That's all it is. It's just one giant trap. Just a trap to get you caught up. Caught up in something. Then when you get caught up, then the hard part is leaving. Because pretty much every single trap out in the world, it has some kind of habit forming, manipulation, blah, 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 blah. Kind of like how bars are. People get used to the familiar faces. They get comfortable with it. They don't want change. But what happens if a new person comes into that bar? All eyes on the new person. Well, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Trust me, I went into one of those small bars because they were advertising karaoke like outside of their bar. And I jumped in. I'm telling you, everyone's eyes were on me when I walked in. Because it's the same dang people that go to these same dang places. That stuff's habit forming. It's comforting. It's content. I don't need to know no new people. I know as much people as I need to know, and that's all I need to know. Why do you think we're so xenophobic? Jeez Louise. America is so xenophobic, but yet they preach diversity, but yet we don't even accommodate diversity. Hypocrites. Oh, man. But yeah, that's what I just want to do. Live life. Live my life. How my life has to be lived. And just die. That's it. I want to do what I got to do. I got to continuously one-up myself. That's what you got to do. That is why life is programmed the way that it is programmed. It is programmed so you would fuck up. Because the way man has structured this man-made society, they have programmed it to where you get fucked up. I mean, heck, I just got finished watching an old Coca-Cola commercial. Do you know that them things were advertised as healthy? And a weight loss drink? And this was not when they were putting the cocaine in it. This was in 1960. This was a 1960 commercial. And they were advertising it like that. And I'm like, wow. And that was the same time frame where cigarettes were advertised as healthy too. Like, that's what I mean. Man has structured society to be trapped. To be trapped in addiction. To be trapped in mental corruption. They don't want you fixing yourself. They don't want that. They don't want that at all. So, what happens? People get caught up, get addicted to stuff, and then those addictions bring on to other things. And then, you got your social smokers, you got all that stuff. Like, it's just one big giant gateway. One big giant gateway. That's all it is. There's no escaping it. Why do you think simplicity is so important when it comes to stuff like, when you're reading like stuff from Buddhists or stuff like that, these cultural books, because it's not just the Buddhists that talk about simplicity and, not being so materialist, but there's other books from other cultures that preach the same thing. And it's because life is supposed to be mastered. You're not supposed to find joy in the dysfunction which is in the world, It's constant progress is what it is. That's all it is. You got to constant progress, and you have to survive. You have to survive in this dysfunctional society without slipping. But the thing is it's hard, because not only how the way you were raised, because that plays a huge role, man. That plays the biggest role. Because, during your development stages and stuff, a lot of that stuff's lock and key. It's hard to get rid of everything that you have learned. But I'm telling you, when you get older, you need to get rid of everything that you learned. That's the only way you're going to be able to live life how it's supposed to be lived. Man, I started slipping, man. When I started seeing the beauty in life in 2019, I started slipping. I was comforted as heck. But that's when I realized people are addicted to the comfort. They're addicted to that stuff. When in reality, all I saw was people who were just like me, using alcohol as a crutch and drugs as a crutch for their own mental problems. Because I was the only sober one down there. But I was seeing it. Whereas other people I was hanging out with, they didn't see that. Because they were partaking. So they weren't seeing it. They were one of them. Why do you think the 21st birthday is such a big deal? That's one of the biggest traps that people fall into. It's all a fucking trap. Because every time you partake into these type of things, you put yourself on a decline, and you don't ever get off the decline because you got so many people around you just enabling you like, yeah, we're having fun, yeah. It's a whole manipulation scheme. You're not having fun. You're miserable. Let me put on this camera real quick and I'll record you guys while you have fun. And then I'm going to play you the videotape right back. I'm going to play it when y'all tomorrow. So then y'all can see how much fun you're really having. Show them that. They ain't having fun. They look miserable. Miserable as heck. Can't even keep their balance up and stuff. Man, fuck that. Fuck that. And that's another thing too, like when it comes to dating and all that stuff. It's all manipulation. For example, like, why do you think, when a guy approaches a woman, why do you think the first thing that they think is that this person wants sex or something like that? It's because they have been manipulated time and time again. It's a scary fucking world for women out there, guys. It's a fucking scary world out there. But that's why they think that way. Because they've been manipulated. They've been manipulated. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to one up to make sure that you are, being real with them and you're not trying to manipulate them. But then in the end, they just get manipulated. Like what basically you're doing when you do stuff like that, you're taking advantage of someone who has been traumatized throughout life. And you're using their trauma to your own gain. So what you're doing is you're trying to manipulate their trauma and just be like, hey, it's okay. I got you. And you want to manipulate them and get their trust. And then when you get their trust, then you got it. Then you start showing your true colors because you done got it. You played the game, you won. That's what it is. That's all it is. It's a never-ending cycle of a game. And that stuff is normalized. And that's one thing that I can't stand. I can't stand that at all. I don't like, how people think that I should approach them. If I like them. If I like you, I approach you completely different from what society does. Half the time, it just goes over your damn head. Because I'll tell you why. Because I talk to you like a fucking human being. They don't appreciate that. They don't appreciate that at all. But there's reasons behind that. It's because they've been manipulated so many fucking times that it's pretty much just gone normalized. It's pretty much just gone normalized. And the manipulation process goes for men too, except it's used for a different tactic. For me, example, it was always because of my emotions. Your boy used to be a crybaby motherfucker. And that's how it was. Flip the script. Get emotions out of them. I feel satisfied. I'll be back with them in about, like a month or so. Give him some peace. And, when I come around, he'll be all happy again, blah, 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 blah. But hell no, you just traumatized me, you motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? That's what they do. That was my experience when I was a crybaby motherfucker. That's what it was. All manipulation. That's all this stuff is. It's just one big manipulation. You got to choose. You got to stay away from it, because I'm telling you, that is all life is. It is just one big psychotic trap. That's all it is. You gotta outthink. You gotta outsmart. You gotta think simplistic. Too many people in your circle. You're getting a bit too complex. Because guess what happens in groups? You don't think logically. You think in numbers. And when you think in numbers get bigger and bigger and bigger. So therefore, you might say something like, that's not a good idea, guys. But then when you're outnumbered, well, I guess it's a good idea because I just got outnumbered. There's no logical thinking in group mentality. There's not. But the thing is you can't point it out to people. They won't see it. And it's like, how can you not see it? But the reason why they cannot see it is because they haven't come peace with their past. If they were to come peace with their past, they would be able to identify all of that bullshit. They would turn their life completely around. But like I said, that's why, what's advertised when it comes to mental health. Oh, prices. Oh, therapist is so expensive. Blah, 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 blah. D, blah, 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 blah. So expensive. They do that so you don't really look in the nooks and crannies. There are places out there that'll do it for free. There are. A lot of them. They don't advertise that bullshit, though. They don't. Because they don't want you to get help. They don't want you to do that. Because if you were to do that, you would wake up. They don't want you to be awake. So all I do, I'm just myself. Completely, 24/7, inside, outside. I mastered it. Because I will admit, that's how it was before I got help. I was a person in my room. I was a person around my family. I was a person out in public. I had my own characteristic trait, and I'd be a completely different person every single time. Like that's kind of why, and I got my own ideology on a lot of stuff. I got a lot of theories and ideology on stuff. So all I do is just think. That's all life is. Just give you time to think. You want to think. That's all it is. Where's this guy going? I wonder why people go that way. See where you going. Maybe there's some kind of shortcut back there or something. But I always see people going that way. Either that or maybe that place opens up earlier before it opens up to the public. They got to get stuff loaded in and whatnot. I don't know how that stuff works. But, oh, man. It's all one big manipulative process, man. And people look at it as a game. And then they start finding excuses. Oh, you know how he is. Oh, you know how she is. Oh, you knew that. Oh, you knew how they act. Come on. Like, constantly making excuses for dysfunction that should be red flagged. But you start saying, that's just how they are. That's just how they are. It's like, nah, dude, they're an a-hole. Like, that's who they are. They are an a-hole. Like, they need to get help. They obviously have some kind of trauma that makes them act like that. But people can't identify that bullshit. But man, you gotta outthink the system, man. And the system wants you to partake in all that stuff. They want you to feed into the manipulation. They want you to feed into all that. They want you to feed into this game. They want you to normalize all that. Because once it's normalized, that's all you expect. So when you get someone that is outside of the system who approaches you completely different, you don't know how to act because it's not what you're used to. And if you have a normalized mind and you done normalized all of that stuff, you're not going to think twice. That person don't like me. No, they don't. No, they don't. Nah. No, that's not liking. Blah, 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 blah. Because they're not used to seeing stuff like that. They're not used to someone actually approaching them like a human being. I don't get it. I never will get it. Well, actually, I do get it because I just described it to you. What I'm saying is, well, basically, when I broke it down, I do get it really good because I just broke it down that it all goes back to trauma. Trauma. That's all it is. It's all trauma. Trauma is the big leader in this, which is why we're manipulating people into using the phones and getting the kids to use the tablet and play video games and all that stuff. Constant escape. How can they express emotions when they don't have it? If you give them a little game to play when they're mad, angry, sad, blah, 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 what kind of emotions will they develop? They will develop none. They want to make these no empathy having, no emotion having people. That's what they want in our society. What, to lower crime rates down and all that bullshit? Probably what they're thinking. That's going to work. But really, it could backfire. You're going to have some psychotic ass motherfuckers, no empathy having, no emotion having people just out killing people. And they won't be able to feel remorse or nothing because you fucked up their development process as a kid. People don't think like that, though. But who am I? Who am I, though? You know? See, when I start talking to them, they think, man, what's up with this fucking kook? What the fuck's he talking about? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about what you have already normalized. That's pretty much it. They're not going to be able to see it. They can talk to your face and all that stuff. But you can't wake someone up. Pretty much you're just giving constant blows. You're basically saying you've been living a lie your whole fucking life. You know, that's not for you to say. That's up to them to say. They're satisfied with their life. Let them be satisfied. It's not up to you to say, hey, you're living a fucking lie and you know it. I'm telling you, too much wake up, in too much of a fast time, you're going to be causing some trouble. You don't want that. But, let's see here. Oh, man, I'm making great timing. Yeah, this podcast is going pretty smooth. I like the podcast. I say whatever the fuck I want. And I don't care. I just tell you, though. The whole point of life is just to live life one-upping yourself. That's all it is. You want to one-up yourself every single time. And you want to keep doing that. Every single time you one-up yourself, you want to one-up it again. One-up again. One-up again. One-up again. Every time you one-up yourself, you're going to slowly attract better. See, when you live in the dysfunction of life, you can attract all you want because it's pretty easy. It's pretty damn easy. I'll tell you that. It's easy. It's more easier living on the dysfunctional side of life than living a normal life just to yourself. Because a lot of the dysfunction is normalized. So pretty much left and right, you're having to dodge bullets left and right, left and right, left and right. Traps will come. Traps will come. And the thing is, since you grew up in the dysfunction and stuff, you already stepped in traps. Therefore, doors are already open. So you're already going to be attracting bullshit from your past. It's hard. The more you dabble within the dysfunctional life, those doors are open. They're not leaving. You're continuously going to attract. Period. No matter how much progress you make. I mean, for crying out loud, I've attracted people who look just like my fucking ex. Like, for real. Just look like my fucking ex. And the thing is I found out from my cousin, she has attracted the same thing. Someone who looked like her ex. And the thing is it was slowly turning back into the same gosh darn relationship. That's how it is. That is a trap. That is how you get trapped. You don't want to fall for that stuff. You want to keep it moving. You got to be able to identify the trap. The reason why you found so much attraction into that person is because they look similar. They look similar. And shoot, that was one thing too, man. Shoot, I don't even want to get into it. Because it even goes down to the point of gosh dang movies, and you'll start noticing like background characters and stuff. Say, gosh dang it, that looks just like my ex or something like that. You will start seeing bullshit like that. That's exactly how it is. That's the universe's way to manipulate you to go into the temptation, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. But yeah, it's tough. But that's life, man. Just a bunch of manipulation. That's all it is. No one's honest. Most of the time you can't tell who's honest. And that's just how it is. Because everyone's just so used to manipulating each other. That's the game. That's how it is. Need some air. That feels good. It's nice and cool out. 71 degrees. Well, 71 degrees in my car. But that's just how it is. It's just one big manipulative process though in life. That's all it is. Even your workforce, even your work environments, they use that same damn tactic to keep you. Manipulation. That's how they do it. But the thing is, when say you got a really good boss or good supervisor who don't do the manipulative bullshit, then you're able to identify the toxicity of who is toxic, and you start to find out there's a lot of toxic people that are in there just to keep you. And it's just, that's how it is. That's how it is. I'm telling you, man. But I'm learning about the other side of life slowly but surely. And just take it a day at a time. If my time comes up early and I die, well, then I die. But I'm going to try my best to live every single day that I'm given to the best of my ability. But when it's my time to die, I lived my life the best that I could. I lived my life dodging every single bullet that I could. Because I done went through the bullets. I done went through it all. I don't want to go through no more. I'm quite content. Sure, sometimes, you might be feeling, you might have some moods going on every now and then. It's just kind of rare because you start to go numb from it. You start to go numb because you realize, because temptation, it sounds good in the head, but when you go give in to the temptation, once you done, did the temptation, it don't feel as good. It don't feel good. You feel like shit. The next day you end up regretting it. Like, that's all it is. But I'll tell you one thing I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that, I wasn't given, like, I didn't know how to do, like, how to word it. Basically, didn't get addicted to basically sex in, like, my teen years or something like that. Because that's where it all starts. People get addicted to that stuff. Get addicted to it. Become sex addicts. They normalize it, too. Because I'm telling you, if you were highly, if your sex drive was super duper high in school and you were able to accomplish it every single time, those people nowadays, they don't feel anything. Like, that's one thing I'm glad on. It's like, with sex, nope. Yeah, I never have been really sexually active. Never was, because I didn't really know. I didn't even know how to make the right moves to even do that stuff. Wasn't taught to me at all. Like, and plus, like, through my upbringing and stuff, like, my mind was just wired differently because I didn't understand it. I didn't understand a lot of stuff of how people could just go do it. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how? Like, how do you even feel that? Like, I don't get it. But, of course, porn addiction does that to people too. Because your expectations are super duper high for something that's not even real. And it's not even that you're looking for something that's like the porn that you were watching. It's just that that's what you expect because that's what you know. And porn kills the emotion when it comes to that. And I found that out through some of the no-fap groups that I'm a part of, that it really just desensitizes you to that stuff. But I'm thankful that I didn't get the sex addiction, because to a point, it just starts to become, you're just in a hole, it's just skin on skin, that's it. There's nothing to it. And in the process, it gets harder and harder and harder each time to find joy in it. You're just doing it because you have got addicted to the endorphin rush and the dopamine release and all that stuff. Like, sex addiction is real. And there's a lot of people in society that struggle from it. A lot of people. And I'm thankful I didn't end up getting to that, because if I did, and it usually does happen in the teen years, or maybe some people get it in their young 20s, because that's when, a lot of the people who were innocent in school, now they got a chance to let out all their curiosity and stuff, and, they end up getting manipulated into the process, get manipulated into that lifestyle, and then they just end up normalizing it. Because, when you mix alcohol and stuff, oh yeah, it sounds like a great time, but let someone come around with a video of it all and show you it, and like you will realize you're not having fun. You literally realize that you're given alcohol to be manipulated into doing stuff that you don't really want to do, that you wouldn't do if you were sober. But the thing is you're on a mental decline. You can't think straight when you're on a mental decline. People take advantage. And then you got people who mix in, like, who roofie people's drinks and stuff just to make it a whole lot easier. Just adding trauma to innocent lives, and it's just like, why? Yeah, sex addiction is a real thing, though, man. People normalize it. Let them normalize it. But I guarantee you, those people that normalize it, they don't feel a thing when they're doing that. They don't feel a thing. They don't get the emotions from it. They don't get none of that. They don't get it. It's just skin on skin. Inside of a hole. That's it. That's all they got. That's all they get from it. That's all they get. See, I wouldn't want that. That's miserable as fuck. That's miserable as fuck. Like, it really is. I would not want that. To get to a point to where you're just so desensitized from something that is supposed to be, a really good emotional experience. But now you're only, because it's normalized to be in it for the physical experience. That's what's normalized. But what people don't put into consideration is that you age. You age. And when they realize physical attraction really wasn't all of it, they've done lost any sense of emotion that would have been developed if it was done correctly. But they don't know how to go back and relearn it. Because they've been doing the physical for so much. They've been doing it for physical the whole time that it's been completely normalized. So that's what it is. And it's just like, shit. Thank you. Because that's the thing. If a man tells you he's having trouble in that stuff, he don't know how to work the system. But when you go downtown, you'll learn how to work the system. You'll see how easy everything is. And the thing is if you're someone who don't partake in any kind of alcohol or drugs or anything, you see it and you're like, this is not right. It's not right. And it ain't. Let me buy you a drink, baby. Let me buy you a drink. Get her a drink. Let's get her on a mental decline. Hey, let me get you another drink. Just keep getting her on a mental decline. Eventually, she's going to say yes to me if I keep doing this. Yes, yes. She ain't going to be able to think straight. She's going to say yes. And even if they don't, they'll be back to that same bar. The same person's going to try the same thing. But guess what? One day he's going to play his cards right. He's going to get it. But then another concept is some people, they get greedy with it. And this happens to a lot of women too, is the person will be like, hey, I bought you all those drinks. You owe me. You owe me. I've heard some horror stories from people that I hung out with downtown. Just horror stories. And I'm like, man, that is scary fucking shit, man. That's scary as hell, man. It is a scary fucking world out there for a woman. And to be honest, I think women have the most trauma to recover from when it comes to interactions with what they're attracted to. Because men are like scolded at a young age. Like, they don't have no empathy. They don't have no emotions. Of course, now, I think it's getting a little better, maybe. I don't know. I've always been an emotional motherfucker. But I know it's stereotyped for guys to not have no empathy, not have no emotions, blah, 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 because they're scolded as a kid. They don't have that stuff. So I got so many bullies in school and stuff because those people aren't allowed to express their emotions at home. So they go to school and bully people that express that stuff to try to scold that out of them. It's all a fucking process, man. But yeah, and then on top of that, when all that stuff does happen to a girl, like say a guy, says, I bought you all those drinks, now you owe me. The thing is, she's already on a mental decline. Alcohol's a depressant, as it is. She's probably going to be like, I guess you're right. I guess I do. Like, you done manipulated the whole process. And then there's some who just straight up tell you no. And then the thing is when she goes to complain about it, like, a lot of the cops don't take them serious because guess what? Oh, it's just another drunk girl. Just another drunk girl. She's just talking shit. It's another drunk girl. And then when something happens and then they go tell, guess what? It's just another drunk girl. Just another drunk girl. Like, that's how it is. That is how the process is. And I've heard stories. I've heard stories more than once. Like, I'm telling you, when you go downtown, you see how the system works. You see how it is. You see how it works. Everything is done by manipulation are some kind of some form of way of manipulating the mental into, getting them on a decline somewhere so they will say yes, That's all it is. Because you're not going to think straight on substances, especially if you're constantly peer pressured. I say, and that's one thing too. A lot of some people, they go downtown, they think they're just going down there to have fun, but really, you're just another participant in the big manipulative game that is downtown. Because when you start looking at downtown is for what it is literally is the same players every single time. It's the same players every single time. Never changes. Same people every single time. Just wanting to play the game. Play your cards right, you might be a winner. You might be popular. You might have everybody following you around and stuff. Numbers mean everything downtown. If you got numbers, join the right people. They'll accept you. Because guess what? Another person, another number, that just makes me look even better. That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want. It's a one big giant game where, substance and alcohol and all that stuff and sex just plays a big role. And it's all about manipulation and taking advantage of someone's mental well-being. And, that's about it. But yeah. When you see how easy everything is, it doesn't look satisfying at all. Because you're literally taking advantage of an innocent life. How people can do that with no problem, because they don't have no empathy for it. They don't have no empathy. They don't have no emotions. They don't have none of that. That's what I mean. If I was in my teen years and I was accommodated for my high sex drive and whatnot, I probably would have been the same person taking advantage of the same system, just like everyone else is. Because I wouldn't have had no emotions for it, because I wasn't able to develop it during my teen years, because I was so sex driven and I could just get it easily because I was already manipulating the people at a young age. That's what they do. That's what it is. It's all a big manipulation process. It all goes down to manipulation, inflicting more trauma on the person that you take advantage of. I'm telling you, when you really look into the stuff for what it is, and you just look at it, you'll see it. But the thing is when people if someone was to try to do that, try to look at for what it is, say they already partake in alcohol and stuff, well, let me just get me a beer and I'll observe and see what you're talking about. Let me go get another beer though. You want one? Okay, yeah. Let me observe real quick. Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, let me go get another one though. They got to get themselves on that mental decline to enjoy the time doing the same thing. That's what it is. The same thing. That's what people do downtown. They just do the same thing. It's the same fucking thing. You ain't progressing. You're just declining yourself. And you're just going to need more and more and more, with every year that goes by, because your body's becoming used to it. You got to get a little more. Yep. I used to be able to drink a lot, but now I fucked up my body. Now I can't really drink no more, so I really can't have fun no more. That's the problem with society. Fun is derived around digressing yourself. Really, it should be the opposite. Oh, man, just giving wake-up calls on wake-up calls, man. Beep-boo, 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 beep-boo. Just wake you up. But the world. I just want to build myself completely. Just keep building myself. Just keep working on myself. Your time pays off. It's one of those motivational speeches I'm listening to every day. And he speaks about, he believes in that you reap what you sow. So if you wake up every day and you grind it out every single day. You continuously work on yourself. Eventually it's going to pay off. Because he is a big believer in you reap what you sow. So if you're putting all the work into yourself, eventually it's all going to pay off. It's all going to pay off. And I like that ideology. I like that a lot. Because hard work pays off. And when you're living life for how life is supposed to be lived, living them to your own rules, to your own well-being, to do what you need to do for yourself to benefit yourself, you're doing everything right. Because life is a do-it-yourself project, man. There is no groups. There is nobody joining you on your journey. You can have supporters. You can have people supporting you. That's pretty much what the gym is. It's just one big area of people supporting one another. You know, you might not talk to each other, but you end up seeing the same familiar faces. But guess what? It's not like it's at a bar. You're not digressing yourself, putting a bunch of substances and stuff inside your body. No, you're actually working on yourself to better yourself with other people who have that same goal in mind, you know? Same concept with a library and, other places like that. I'm not very familiar with a lot. All I know is a gym and a library. That's all I know. Maybe there is other healthier places that are just like those places, Those are the only two that I can think of. But, for example, even when it goes down to manipulation and stuff, for crying out loud, all the advertisements talking about how e-cigarettes are bad, that just shows you right there. They don't want you to quit the smoking and stuff. They don't want you to even attempt to. So they're going to be advertising, this stuff is bad for you. The e-cigs are bad for you. But tobacco is even healthier than that stuff. Yes, it is. It's like, if they want to quit, let them quit. But the thing is the wealthy don't get wealthier if you quit. See, man, it's all big. Life is just one big manipulation process. And we teach manipulation. We bring it down to other people so they learn how to manipulate. It's just one big manipulative process. Like, for example, actually, I won't even get into it because I'm about to end this freaking podcast. Next time, I will go into detail on stuff like that. If I can remember, I probably won't remember because I'll probably want to talk about something else. But it just hit 35. I'm out of here. Off the air. Stay positive.